not afraid, got nothing to lose. Living life with nothing to prove. I'm gonna be a better version of me.
Welcome to another episode of TFarrell Presents. I'm your host, Terrence Farrell, aka TFarrell. And I'm so glad that you're here with us today. Today, I'm going to talk about 6 keys to finding the audience that will change your life. It's been said that if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get everything you want. And identifying the right audience for you is the first step. Now, there isn't an exact formula where I can say, hey, by step 6, you'll identify your ideal audience. But if you understand the fundamentals of identifying your ideal audience, put the necessary work in and the necessary time, you'll get clarity. And I honestly believe it will change your life. So now, what are we talking about here? The real question is, who are you supposed to serve? Last week, we talked about serving versus slavery. I think we covered that last week. But the real question is, who are you supposed to serve? A nicer way to say is, who are you here to help? But I like to say serve. Who are you here to serve? It puts it in perspective. I've spent way too long, I feel, in my opinion, trying to figure out who I'm supposed to serve. But hopefully through my experience, I can help at least one person get through this. So let's jump right in. Number 1, search for it with God. I can't stress this enough. And yeah, it sounds like the cliche answer. But ask God and bring everything that you come up with back to him. It's not, and understand this, it's not just, oh, let me pray. And, let me see what answer is going to come. And then I just, I go here, I go there, and I come back the next day. I go, hey, I didn't get an answer. Really search for the answer. Fast. Listen to podcasts that talk about getting closer to God. Listen to sermons. Try and dig through the Bible. And what I like to pray a lot of times is, okay, God, I'm asking for clarity. I'm open right now. So whatever comes, I'm going to think it's you talking. And since you can control everything, I'm open right now. So I don't want to, don't send anything that's going to lead me astray. And your sincere prayer, not that you got to pray the prayer that I prayed, but your sincere prayers will allow him to speak to you so that you can hear. Another thing I always say is, God, I want you to speak so that I can hear you, so I know it's you. And he has. And it could be a weird way, but I walk away going, yeah, that was him telling me, even if it's not what I want to hear. And you got to be open to hearing what you don't necessarily want to hear. It might not be the comfortable thing, but the first thing to do is to search for it with God. And when I say with God, the searching, the fasting, the listening to whatever you listen to, it all has an effect, all of it. Number 2, dig deep into the problem you would love to solve. Now, I'm part of I was going to say a men's ministry, but it's more than that. It's the Winning Circle with Dr. Myron Edmonds. And one of the things that he says is, you got to have a cause. You got to have a fight. What is your fight? And there's something that bothers you. It's, for me, one of the things that bothers me is struggling Christian artists. That just bothers me. It bothers me on a couple of levels, because you can always get better at your gift by practicing more, so you don't have to stay mediocre. Another thing, if you're a Christian artist, if you believe in God, you should not be struggling. Yeah, you might not hit the money that you want, but struggling, that's a mindset. Struggling is a mindset. Struggling is not a financial number, but I'm going off here. But That's one of the things that burns within me. It might be the homeless. It might be, and the homeless sounds real big. It might be educating young girls. It might be, working with young men. Whatever it is, find out what your cause is, and your gifts and talents might not be directly tied to it. So be prepared for that. A lot of people say, well, what are you passionate at? What is this? Oh, okay. So if I'm a drummer, then it must be that I want to help out other drummers. No, not really. I mean, I will, but that's not my cause. So, to make every drummer a better drummer, that's not what's on my heart. Find out or ask yourself, what is your cause? What is it that burns? What problem do you want to solve? What do you want to see better on this earth? And that might give you some insight to who you're identifying your audience, who your audience might be. So dig deep into that. It might even be tied to your past. That's another thing I wrote down here. It might be tied to your past. So I was raised in an abusive home. If you heard my testimony on a prior podcast, I was raised in an abusive household. So it could have been that I want to help out people that are abused because I have insight to that. I don't want to see another person abused. It doesn't have to be that. So pray and then dig into what problem you want to solve. Dig into the cause that you want to champion, if I can say it that way. Number 3, I wrote down here: share with mentors, a therapist, and or people that have poured into your life before. I have a couple of friends that I can go to them and they'll be real with me, and they won't judge me, and they won't tell me what I want to hear, or they won't shoot it down because they don't see it for themselves or what have you. They're level-headed, and everybody has a bias, but share it with some people. And I said mentors because those are people you normally trust. They normally have your best interests at heart. They're not trying to vie for your spot. Like, oh, if I tell them, go ahead, work with producers. Oh, that's what I want to do. I want to do. Mentors typically don't do that. Therapists, I believe everybody should have a therapist. Therapy is not. It's not something that it's not a shameful thing to have a therapist. And I think we're seeing that more and more now since COVID and the advocacy of mental health and all of that stuff. But if you have a therapist, bring it up to your therapist, see what they have to say. And then and when it comes to people that have poured in your life, be mindful, or be mindful of who it is. Don't share it with everybody. And that's why I said people that have poured into your life before. If they've poured into your life before, you kind of understand where they're coming from, that they're level-headed, they're tied into what God is instructing them to say, things like that. So that's there. The next one: take money out of the equation at this stage. Now, I phrased it that way. I wrote it down so I would say it that way. Take money out of the equation at this stage. Money is important. I don't want to say money is not important. God does not have a problem with your money. His issue, I don't want to say issue. God is concerned. Let me put it that way. God does not care about your money. He's concerned about your priority. When the money trumps following him, that's where he has the problem. And a lot of times money can do that in a lot of people's lives. So that's why I said, take the money out for this equation, out of the equation at this stage, because it can cloud your judgment. It has clouded mine. And let me say it this way. So I was looking for the right audience. Who am I going to serve? And it was, God said, hey, I want you to do this. And my response was, well, there's not really that much money in that. And I see, like I'm playing the whole thing out in my head, almost like Doctor Strange. If you're, if you like the Avengers and you know who Doctor Strange is, but he could basically sit there, blink a couple of times, and just think, and he can map out every possible outcome. So it's like I'm mapping out all the possible outcomes that I could see and go, yeah, there's no way that's gonna provide for my family. Like I'll have to do that part-time. I'd have to do this. I'd have to do that. I can't see all the possible outcomes, but that's because I have money in mind. I have That's not gonna provide. That's nice. That's cool, but that's not gonna be financially beneficial. And I want to provide for my son. I want him to go to a certain school. I want to leave a financial legacy for him. I want financial freedom. These are not bad things. And but once we start thinking of it like that, and God is trying to push us this way to take care of these people, and we go, yeah, but I need to leave a legacy for my son. So I don't know if I'll tell you what, I'll do that part-time. That is putting money in front of God. Now that might sound like, well, that it is what it is. At a certain level, that is what it is. And once we feed into that, we might come up with a good alternative, but it won't be our ideal audience. The urge is, I wrote down, the urge is to find your profitable business idea. But your profitable business idea is not necessarily your ideal audience. Here's the deal. If you put the profitable business idea first and say, okay, I need to have this type of audience, it's backwards. You're putting a cart before the horse. If you find out your ideal audience, I don't want to say I guarantee, but the God that I serve, the God that I know, will tell you how to be profitable, how to make that work so that you get what it is you need to have. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying here. And then let me testify for a moment here. God has asked me to do things, and I've said to him in one particular area, and I said, well, God, it's not bringing in the money that I want. And somebody came and blessed me with thousands of dollars, over $10,000, just one shot. Boom, here you go, just a gift. And I was like, whoa, that's amazing. I knew it was from God. And my answer was, well, God, I want to make it. Like that. I was almost saying, well, that's not sustainable. Like, yeah, that was a gift, but who's going to give me a gift next month? He could do it. He's God. I'm his child. But anyway, I digress. Take money out of the equation at this stage. This stage, what you want to do is find your ideal audience. Who is it that you're called to serve? Who is it that you're called to serve? Think about it like that. It will change your life more than financially. It will bless you. It will. I hope you're hearing what I'm saying. Listen, the next one I have, I'm moving on. The next one, welcome a God-sized answer. Everybody, yeah, I'm thinking big, this and that. A God-sized answer typically makes us go, whoa, yeah, I can't do that. See, that's outside of my realm. And God can do anything. And we sing the songs and we quote the verses. And a lot of times when it came to me, hey, God said to me, I want you to serve modern day Levites. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's the priests and the musicians. All right, the priests and the musicians, pastors. And yeah, I got no theology degree. I've got no degree. I got no degree. I don't know my Bible like that. How am I going to support a pastor? These guys, yeah, I tell you what, I can do the musicians. The musicians, I got you on that. Yeah, modern day Levites, the musicians. I wanted to leave out the pastors, the priests, and because the Levites were the priests also, I wanted to leave it out. The total thing is a God-sized answer. I wanted to slim it down because it's like, yeah, I can't see. Picture me going to some pastor going, hey, here's what I'm being led to say to you. Now, that's just in my mind. pastors will probably be open to that, especially if they know you're sincere. And if forget you being sincere, if the Holy Spirit is with you, if that's who you're called to speak to, that's what it is. Your audience. It will bless your life. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's worth repeating. I have to say that. Next, I have on here. Once you think you figured it out, start serving with more intentionality. Let God determine your next step. Hear me. And is this the last one I have? Yes, I think we just did 6. This is the 6th one. I'm going to say it again. Once you think you figured it out, once you think you've got the answer from God, once it all starts to line up, start serving with more intentionality. Start serving that audience with more intentionality and let God determine your next step. A lot of times, speaking from experience again, okay, I think I figured it out, this and that, and I will write it all out for the next 2 months. Okay, so if I do this, that probably won't work. Okay, if I do this and do that, all right. So now that I got the audience, okay, so how is this going to generate money and where am I going to put the time? And okay, so how am I going to work this part? Just start serving. Start serving in, I was going to say in small steps, but in whatever step that God says is next. He might have you jump off and do a big step. And you're like, what? If God's got you, God's got you. He's God. But take the first step. And God is the ultimate course corrector. Because a lot of times it's like, well, what if I'm going in the wrong way? God will course correct. He will. He will go, don't want you to go there. Because a lot of times it's like, yeah, that's God. Yeah, that's God. And it's like, no, that was a little bit of me mixed with what I know is scripture, mixed with what this guy said. And we might get it wrong. But God will course correct. And I wrote down, God will course correct if necessary, but he can't course correct the course we never start. Let me say that one more time. God will course correct if necessary, but he can't course correct the course we never start. Start. Do something. Do something with who you feel your ideal audience is. Now, don't start there. Start first identifying your ideal audience. Start first asking God. Number 2, dig deep. What problem would you love to see? So what always burns in your heart? What's the cause? What's the thing that gets you? It's like, I would love to stop seeing this. You want me to help you stop doing this? I'll do it for no money. That's a key indicator. Not that you will start doing everything for no money, but if you would do that for no money just to see it better, that's a key. So that was number 2. Share with mentors, therapists, people who've poured in your life before. That's number 3. Am I got that right? 1, 2, 3. Yes. Number 4, take money out of the equation at this stage. That's number 4. Take it out of the equation. It can cloud your judgment. It can lead you down. It can make you put the cart before the horse. Number 5, welcome a God-sized answer. He might not give you a God-sized answer right away because he knows you. It might have you running, screaming from the room. But sometimes he does. He gives you a view into, hey, here's the vision I got. Be ready for that. Welcome it. And then go, okay, God, I don't know how that's going to happen, but let's ride. Let's go. Let's do it. Look at it as an adventure with God. That's a great way to look at it. You're going on an adventure with God. You can't lose. It's God. All right. Number 6, once you think you figured it out, start serving with more intentionality. God will course correct if necessary, but he can't course correct the course we never start. And that's my 6. That is my 6 keys for finding out the audience that will change your life. I'm telling you, it will change your life. It will change your life financially. It will change your life It will give you more fulfillment. It will everything. The more you give from the heart, the more you get. And it's not, you don't give to get, it's just, you just give. And it's this reciprocity. It's a law of God. But I feel like I'm rambling now, and I don't want to ramble. So I thank you. I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for those that tune in every week. I really appreciate you. I thank you for subscribing, liking, sharing. If this has blessed you, share it with somebody else. Leave a comment. If you say, hey, wait, there's a seventh one too, leave it in a comment. I'll respond. I will. Y'all are awesome. I love y'all. Also want to say this Friday, the 25th of March. It is still March. We got a new Words for Life single that's dropping. It's called Release Your Boat, featuring Dr. Myron Edmonds. If you're hearing this and Friday, March 25th has not gotten here yet, please pre-order it now. It helps with everything. The more pre-orders we get, the more on launch day is going to be like, boom, oh, wow, that song's doing well. And it just allows more people to hear it. It allows it to have a bigger platform. The more people pre-order it. The link will be in, I like to say the show notes, but the description of this episode, the link will be there to pre-order it. If it's past March 25th, just go check it out, listen to it. If you love it, put it on your playlist, share it with somebody else also. I believe it will bless your life. So again, I'm going to have the links there in the description of this episode, in the show notes. So I pray it blesses you. It's also always our prayer that God uses something said in this episode to speak to you directly. And with that, we're out.